What's
That's
going on,
cool.
everybody? That's cool. Hell yeah, it is. What's going on, everybody? It is I, your boy Gilbert, and today's special guest.
Dead guy.
Hell yeah. Unfortunately, no Peaky and no Harrison because their countrymen are too busy sucking. So they have to deal with like real life problems. So they don't get to talk about Deadpool today. But yeah, that is what we're doing today. We are here. We're gonna be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's fucking go. Great goddamn movie.
Yes.
So, but
That's it.
First of all, before we get started, actually, I want to say, Dead Guy, welcome in. Thank you for being here on short notice and jumping in with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let my dog out because they are scratching at my door. There we go. Okay,
It was
but
really
yeah,
good, guys.
yeah.
Really
So,
good.
all right, so guys, so yeah, Dead Guy. Initial thoughts. Let's go ahead and let's just get right into it. We're gonna be staying here talking to you for the next hour and a half. So, and yeah, we got John Bubba in here saying, "Let's effing go." So, in initial thoughts, let's talk about it. How good or bad or what was this movie to you?
Okay, to me, like I was saying, sensory overload. First time, like I walked away, I was laughing. I had a lot of fun watching the movie. Either way it went, even though I couldn't take it all in at once and kind of appreciate everything at once. But 1.5 watches later, oh man, I mean, it's sensory overload, really good, kind of a must-see, and it's a nice welcoming into the Marvel universe. Just a nice, actually, I wouldn't even say nice. They sort of just fisted their way into the Marvel universe, and that's more appropriate. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm still speechless because it's still very fresh. You know what I mean? I'm still just like, dude, it's just good, really good.
Yeah, no, and that's a great image. And they just kind of like took it and just went just right up in there. They put it. They didn't even use lube, didn't spit on it. They just like forced it up in there.
Not at all, not at all. And I mean, let's be honest, the opening scene, I was in tears. I was just like, I didn't see that coming, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, that open. So yeah, like the opening scene was like, all right. So yeah, I'll save mine real quick before we get that. The movie itself,
my bad.
Incredible. No. There's so much that there's like wanting to talk about. It's like I'm bursting, but yeah, no. The movie was incredible from start to finish. It's a goofy, like kind of like what John Bubba says here, is the plot was ridiculous as all get out, but the fight scenes were outrageous, and he was freaking laughing his ass off. Same here. I'm like, every cameo there was, every fight scene, every reference to something, I was like, oh, dude, I get that. I get that.
Everything that happened, you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was just great. Like, if you're going in it looking for a serious fucking movie, like a serious like superhero movie that's gonna be like as emotional as Endgame or as epic as fucking like the first Avengers, you're going for the wrong thing. But if you're going for just a romp with fucking Ryan Reynolds and goddamn Hugh Jackman, oh my god.
Let's just say a movie designed for 10-year-olds made for adults. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, don't take your 10-year-olds to see it. But what I'm saying is it's made for every 10-year-old dude's iconic everything you'd want in a comic book. You get what I mean? Like, everybody's like, this is what I want. This is the team up I want. This is the fight I want. You get to see it somehow in there. But as long as you stick to cinematic stuff, it's I get excited, man. I'm kind of giggling because it's like we haven't even gotten past the opening scene, and it's like there's just so much as a review to cover. There's so much.
It's a lot. So let's go ahead and get into the opening scene then. So yeah, we open up. I love how the Deadpool has just kind of made its thing now that opening scenes have to be like a music video, basically, where he's kicking the shit out of a bunch of people, and that's what they got. We got. Were you expecting them to use "Bye Bye Bye"? Like, everyone in the theater started busting out. He's like, "All right, there's 206 bones in the human body, 207 if I'm watching Gossip Girl, and now and maximum effort." And he hits
not to mention the fact that he's sitting there with the rotted corpse of James Howlett Logan, using him as a puppet.
Using his bones to kill all the TVA agents.
When he dug him up and then started hitting him with the hammer, telling him to get up. Like, get up. And then he's like, motherfucker, you're really fucking dead. I lost it. I'm crying. I was just like, dude, he wasted all of that time to go back in time for no fucking reason. Or go to that was really funny for me, man.
Yeah, and that's a one thing I was kind of like I said about, or like John and me said about the plot, is that's paper thin, because I don't know, is that the past, the future? Where is Deadpool in relation to Logan? Does it matter? Not really.
No, no,
Like,
they used the TVA beautifully, and I did predict that. I was like, okay, there's going to be something here because he's messing with time. They're going to get involved. So I kind of predicted that and saw that coming. So I was happy and giddy when I realized that was what they were going to do. And then I was like, once he gets that thingy, the time control device or whatever, anywhere, anytime, anything, doesn't matter, any spot in any universe, he can pop in and out. And I was like, I don't
yeah,
even know what to expect at this point. I don't even know what the hell to expect at this point. Like, because you
and
can't
like,
really talk about the opening scene because he's killing TVA soldiers, and you're like, what is happening? Like,
so I'm curious. Do you think that dishonors Logan's memory? Because that was apparently the Discord that's been online. Is that a lot of people got pissed off at that scene because they're like, it's fucking insulting to Logan. I'm like, yeah, kind of, but that's the
absolutely it
point.
is, but that's was the point. It's funny. Like it, Deadpool. They made it the point in Deadpool too, to sheerly just be like, well, fuck Logan. He beat me to it, and he just died honorably. And the whole point was he was already kind of hating on him for that, and he already
Mhm.
talked smack about him through the first two movies. It would make sense that when he finds out he's really dead, that he would just play around with his dead body and kill people with it. Which, when he strapped the claws,
Like that was, dude. Everyone in the all right. So the opening night, I went to go see that in the theaters. Everyone cheered when he did that. When he like, and fucking everyone was like, woo, yeah! It started clapping.
yes, yes, Deadpool Wolverine is what we had right there, and I was giddy. Like at that point, it may have just, but
It's
John Bubba
Deadpool.
knows his shit. That's my point. Is it? Yeah, of course it was. But why are you mad? Like it was Hugh Jackman's in the movie. Clearly, he didn't have a problem with it, and he can be mad all the way to the bank.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all I'm saying. But
I don't
of
think
course
Hugh
he
Jackman
did.
gives a shit, because at the end of the day, he's not Wolverine. He didn't die saving X-23. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a movie he played in. But yeah,
Dude,
no. And so my brother was telling me about this, that like he thinks it's kind of weird, like, because if you missed Logan, then a big part of like the emotional impact of this movie just goes right over your head.
yeah.
Like,
And you do get it later. Like it may not be at first, even when he's hanging out with the fam, and the people that he brought back and all that. You can still tell it's Deadpool, like you're not getting emotional tugs or anything, and they're not going for that there. They're just kind of letting you know the situation that he's in and what he did after Deadpool 2. Later, you definitely get a little bit of heart tugging along the way, because it was the other way around. Like I don't want to give too much away before we get there, but you would expect it to be the other one turning the other one this way, but it ended up flipping, and I was just like, I like how they did that, and they did the exact opposite the way the stuff went in the comics, the exact opposite, and so you kept you on your toes. So the whole thing, you're just like, I don't know what's going to happen next. I thought I did, but now I fucking don't. Like,
yeah, no, and it took a lot of left turns. Like it was like, all right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into the next part. So yeah, we have the opening scene. He jigs up Logan and does the whole like bye 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 scene, but then we get like the backstory of why that's happening. Apparently, after saving Vanessa and doing all the timeline shit and the end of Deadpool 2, apparently he somehow transported into the sacred timeline and tried to fucking join the Avengers. I'm like, that was a fun scene with him and Happy, like sitting there just like,
I
when
enjoyed
people
it.
look up to the Avengers, we're heroes. We? It's like, what is your job, or what is your secret or
What's your
superpower?
super?
Can you parallel park? Yeah, that was a great scene. I love the whole like interview scene with it. Again, doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense as to how he got there, but enjoy the fucking movie. It's supposed to be just a fun, like, oh look, it's Happy.
You so
And
abused it. You abused it so much. Oh, I saw that down there in the comments, and I didn't even want to touch it. Like,
what happened in Logan? Oh, dude, so much stuff happened in Logan. Deadpool and Loki are highly related comics. I mean, Loki did give Deadpool the knowledge that he was the main character of a comic book. I did not know that. No, yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize Loki was the one who told him that he has a fourth wall to break. See, I mean, my God, Deadpool would do messed up, crazy stuff because it's Tuesday. True. Deadpool 4, Deadpool and dude, Deadpool and Thor. I would watch the shit out of that. Why was Thor crying?
And honestly, I feel like they were trolling Loki, the series, a little bit on that when they were playing Loki's life back, and they showed him when he had died, and Thor was crying and got upset, and it broke Loki. Like he was just like, "Oh my God,"
Yeah,
they were
definitely.
Why is
they were
Thor
just
crying? Wait a minute.
Like that looked like recycled footage from Thor: The Dark World, but I'm like, I didn't care because it just looked funny. I'm like, I'm all about it. And so yeah, I like that teasing, like when the TVA grabs him and says, "Hey, yeah, so we don't care that you fucked with time, but you're apparently really important, and we need you in the sacred timeline, so we're gonna transfer you over." And like he gets all excited about it, and obviously because we're all excited about it, we're just like, "Fuck yeah, I'm happy." Hey, what's up, Peaky? He says it was a recycled footage. Also, hi. What's going on, Peaky? Hope you're safe and okay. And but yeah, so they tell him like, hey, we're gonna move you over to the MCU. And I do love that one part where he goes over, he's like, excuse me 1 second, runs over to the camera, is like, fuck it or suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland. I'm like, that was one of the best parts of the movie, and he like smashes the camera. So yeah, apparently though they entered in this new concept called anchor beings. So he talks about the reason that he's being moved over to the MCU is because his universe is dying, because apparently his anchor being Logan died, and I guess the universe. This is a weird like way of them describing how a franchise dies, and it's just like, oh yeah, well when your anchor being dies, your universe ceases to exist because it just can't anymore. And I'm like, that's a weird thin veiled way of being like, so Hugh Jackman didn't want to be Logan anymore, so we can't do any more X-Men movies.
Sorry.
And yeah, so
Marvel H. Christ.
I am Marvel Jesus now. You. I love.
He used his own Marvel Jesus name in vain. It put me in fucking tears, dude. When he's like Marvel H. Christ, I was just like, no, he didn't. Oh my God. Who wrote this fucking film? It's really funny.
It's just a parody of the Loki show. It kind of is.
I feel like
loosely uses the TVA, but
I think it was trolling all of it. Like there was nothing was fucking safe. That's all I can say right now. Before we can get any farther, nothing was safe in this film from being trolled, or either this was badass. Remember, and I mean, all right, we'll get there. I'm gonna stop because I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get there.
This brings a good question though. So Alex says that Stan Lee died. Now the MCU is dying. It's a slow death over the next 2,000 years. But yeah, but seriously though. But that begs the question though. In the sacred timeline, who is the anchor? If Tony Stark wasn't the anchor being, then who is?
It's got to be Stan Lee. Stan Lee's cameos. Like if his cameo dies, I like that, Alex. That's pretty good. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine. It's obviously not Stark.
Yeah, no, it's Spider-Man. it's Peter Parker. When he's gone, that's it. That's it. We're fucking done with the MCU.
It'd be some weird C-lister like Hawkeye.
Oh God,
keep Hawkeye alive at all.
Can you imagine if Hawkeye was the anchor being? I'm the anchor being. Oh yeah, no. We can talk about Stark Doom later.
Yeah, let's save that.
But yeah, but we have this whole thing about like him talking about the anchor being dying, and so the universe is going to get wiped out. And so the Paradox, the pencil pusher who runs this part of the TVA is like, well, you know what? We used to just prune this shit, and they don't want to do that anymore. So I'm going to do it anyway. And he decides to get rid of Deadpool's universe, to which Deadpool obviously doesn't like that. And I like how his first thing, instead of killing the guy, is to go looking for a new anchor being. Like is that growth? I guess is that character growth?
That's character growth. He's evolved a little bit. Like, well, I'll just go get another one.
Yeah,
I do like that I like how he handled that. He's like, all right, I'll do it. And he's like, oh, okay, good. And he's like, no, I meant break your nose.
Yeah, break your nose and
leave. Smack.
Also, I didn't want to talk. I wanted to mention the one guy, the fucking. He's like, when he gets his new suit, he says about how shit, like your tailor is a predator, but you know, like I like the suit. Yeah, and then he also talks about how like he starts like sexually harassing the one dude. He's like, this guy knows what I'm talking about. His clothes say middle management, but his eyes say fucky fucky. It's like, you calling your wife HR? Is your wife working HR? No, that was fucking funny. That was a weird, like, out of left field joke, but I thought that was great. And I know they brought it back around at the end of the movie.
Oh, dude, when he finally took the time control device and just jumped backwards, how they slow-moed on that dude's face, and he was just grinning. Like,
and
he
I'll give up forever to touch you.
And all you see is Deadpool's ass just.
Also, so I didn't notice it. It took me 3 watches to notice this, but the guy is sitting there with a coffee mug. Like when he's digging up fucking Logan, you see a coffee mug that says "I like me," and the guy, when Deadpool is jumping it, he has a coffee mug. Apparently, that got sucked. That and when like the portal goes, he's like, and his coffee mug is gone. I'm like, dude, he stole his fucking coffee. Either that or the dude tried to touch Deadpool's ass.
And
and the coffee mug got sucked in. I didn't notice that, but I'm like,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, no, there's a number of things that you're just like, what the fuck? Let's see. If you lose the anchor on your boat, you just get a new one.
Just get it.
That's true. Let's see.
John,
one thing confused me. One thing confused me. They mentioned 5 Punishers. I can only think of 4. So yeah, there's
Jane.
Yeah, Thomas Jane, John Brenthal. There was Dolph Lundgren.
Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson. And then, and if you count the 90s one, I guess the cartoon one, but I don't know.
I don't count that as cinematic.
Yeah, no. I guess if you're talking about like live action ones, I don't know who would be the 5th Punisher.
Maybe he was saying it like, you know, like a random number. You get what I mean? Like maybe he didn't mean exact 5, or we're getting. Oh no, there was John Bernthal. So there's 4 that we can count for film and TV.
Yeah, no, but I think maybe he's hinting at there's going to be another Punisher somewhere down the line.
That could be it. But I think they've confirmed Bernthal is cinematic Punisher if they do it. I mean, he was really
Daredevil born again.
And Ray Stevenson's was really good too, but unfortunately we lost him. Like,
oh man, dude, Thomas Jane remains the Punisher to me.
Really? That was your favorite one? John Travolta killed the film for me. So I do like Thomas Jane, but Travolta killed the film. So I was just like, weird.
Fair enough.
Bernthal for me was rough. It was raw. It was like, holy shit, that guy was born to be the Punisher.
So speaking of someone born to be a character, after that scene, we get the fucking time traveling. I like how he uses the Huey Lewis in the News song. But yeah, we get fucking to the power of love. We get him going through the different universes to different Logans, and we get Short King Wolverine, which I thought was funny as hell. Yeah, we got Old Man Logan. We got
Old
Patch.
Man Logan.
Fucking Weapon. What is it? What were you gonna say?
I couldn't remember. I was actually trying to look it up for that crazy everything's on fire 80s metal.
Oh,
I couldn't figure out what was it?
I was at Weapon Omega Logan. That's
okay. I couldn't remember, and I was like, I need to figure that out. I remember seeing it when I was young, but I couldn't put my finger on it when I was watching it. Like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah. So we got 3 of them. Then of course Cavalrine.
Yeah, we got the Cavalrine, which that was a crazy like I didn't expect them to do that.
I didn't either.
We also got the Wolverine from Incredible Hulk 180. When we wear the orange and tan suit or the orange and brown.
And then the Hulk. That was. I didn't see that comment. I really didn't. I was expecting the suit. Like, hey, check him out in the suit. Everybody's be like, yes. And then no. Oh, that was when he was like Marvel H. Christ. That's when he said it.
I'm Marvel Jesus, you big monster, and I will not. And he gets like slammed across the wall. You know what? I feel like we have the wrong background, so give me 1 second while I do that. Yes. Yeah. I feel like it needs to be this way because
I'll take it.
Yeah, nah. But straight up, like we get all kinds of different Wolverines. I was all about it because it was like they were poking like with the Short King Wolverine, which Milktoast said was his favorite. I thought that was great because everyone. How many times have you heard when people talk about Wolverine castings? Have they talked about like? I want someone to be short. I want someone short and stocky. And I'm like, they gave that to you on this one,
Built
and
like
it
a
looks
pit bull.
ridiculous.
And it did. They wanted you to see that. Like, is this really what y'all want? Because now you're fucking laughing. Aren't you happy we didn't do that in the first X-Men movie? It was like, yeah, okay, yeah, we are, because that's absolutely hilarious, and you could not take that character seriously in real life.
Yeah,
Doesn't match
Yeah,
in
it was
comics.
goofy.
Comics it matches. Here it's like, never mind. Did you land? You stuck that landing, didn't you, little guy? You stuck
Yeah,
the
see
landing.
that was goofy. I thought that the patch one was cool. Like I'm not as familiar with that character, but I'm aware of it. So I'm like, I like that.
That's the Wolverine that ended up going to Japan and doing the samurai stuff and all that later down the road. Same, that's same, I guess, arc realm Wolverine. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago, man. Like for me, a really long time ago.
Nice. And I guess the crucified Wolverine is from, I don't know if that was an actual thing that happened, but it was like, it was just a cover from Uncanny X-Men 251 that shows Wolverine like crucified like that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, dude, that was crazy because they brought back so many like memories that I just don't remember. I was so young when I read some of that stuff. Maybe I didn't read any of it, but saw the cover, you know. So I saw so many images. That was one that got me. I was like, where do I know that from? And I just couldn't put my finger on it, but it was still, the image was like, holy shit.
Yeah, the Weapon Omega Wolverine was freaking vicious. Agreed. That one was cool. Like I like how all the Wolverines just across all the different realities, just like they see Deadpool and they're instantly just like, kill him. Except for until he gets to the final Wolverine, the worst Wolverine. And yeah, it's pretty great. Like, so I think that that's how you do a character right. Like I know a lot, or that's how you do a sad character right. Just like they were able to keep his badassery while still making him kind of like, like depressed, and he's kind of a shadow of all the other Wolverines that we saw, but still, Wolverine.
He's got nothing to lose, Wolverine. Like
exactly.
I've given up on everything, Wolverine. Like,
yeah. Like to the point where he's like, he says, "Are you gonna take that from this guy?" Like when the guy says, "Are you two gonna fuck or fight?" And he's like, "Are you gonna take that from him?" Yep. I'm like, dude, chop his head off. What do you mean? Yep.
Just give me one more drink and I'll leave. Like, Jesus, dude.
I love when like he tells him like, dude, bub, you don't want this, and you don't want like puts the gun in his face, and he's like, all right, well, give me 1 second. Go, and then just drinks the thing until he passes the fuck out. I'm like, what the?
All right,
doing, Logan?
That was the thing. I think that's what made him eventually the most dangerous Wolverine, with what John Baba said.
Yeah, still a badass,
it made
but
him
mentally
dangerous.
broken.
Like the last Wolverine you want to fuck with is one that doesn't have anything to lose and hopes you're the one that can kill him. That's what you don't want. Because he's just gonna fight that nothing matters, right? Like nothing matters. That would be scary to me. Like I wouldn't want to fuck with that. But Deadpool,
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, Deadpool can't die though, so he's not worried in the least. So, but yeah, we get then we get to see the reveal. Like he passes out drunk. We get to see the reveal of the costume, which, dude, fun. Deadpool says the best. After 20 fucking years, I'm like, dude, oh my
20 fucking years.
Why couldn't Why couldn't X-Men 2003 or I think that was 2002, 2003 when the original X-Men came out? Why couldn't that have like the yellow? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex? Yes.
Yeah, actually, I remember saying that. Like, yeah, actually, if you'd have done it, the suit yellow, it would have looked fine. For the love of God, it would have at least made sense. Oh,
like, yeah. But instead, we had to deal with like with 15 years of like black leather and those weird fucking like jumps, like flight suits and shit.
Don't remember the strange fashion in 2005 to 2008 where men were wearing bell bottoms again. There was that phase too, and I know you know what I'm talking about. I think that was X2. Everybody was just in bell bottoms again, leather jackets and bell bottoms. Like, what is this? The fucking 70s X-Men? I don't know. The first three films, I'm not gonna lie, not my favorite. Like the Wolverine origin movies, not my favorite.
Yeah, X-Men.
I kind of jumped on board.
I try to just forget that ever happened. I think we all do.
They're guilty pleasures. Like when I watch all the movies, I still watch them. But then by the time I get to Days of Futures Past and First Class and all that, you know what I mean? Like they start getting a lot more interesting to me. Apocalypse was great, and I know it received a lot of hate. from a lot of fans, but for me, I loved it. It was very well done for film. You know, like we are getting a little sidetracked, but I guess you can't talk about this anymore without talking about the goddamn X-Men and the old movies. You can't do it. So shit. Well, I guess I'm not.
Yeah, no.
Off topic.
I mean, he's kind of part of that whole thing, and it's like, again, like where does Deadpool fit into this whole thing? Don't think about it. That's where. Or he just never got made. It was the leaked test footage. That's all. It was that one time that. Yeah, no. It was the one thing we all just try to forget that ever existed, and we just put it from our brains. But anyway. So but they talk about that. They show that like he reveals that Paradox reveals that Wolverine was a bad Wolverine because he ended up murdering everybody. Like I don't think they revealed it then, but he just kind of like, oh yeah, he's a bad Wolverine. He turned everyone against him on his world. He's a fucking piece of shit, and just kind of goes into this whole thing. So they both end up getting sent to the Void, and that's where we get our first fight between Deadpool and Wolverine, which was pretty freaking great. Like, it was
everything I hoped for and exceeded expectations. It was short, but still, just the first blow. From the first blow.
When he ended up getting on all fours and running at him like a fucking man, like an animal, I'm like, oh, that is Wolverine.
And then, let's not forget, chucks him through a fucking wall. About 30 feet into a broken down 20th century Fox logo.
Rest in pieces, Fox. Oh, dude. That was first fight was in X-Men Origins. I guess that you have a point there. He did fight Deadpool in X-Men Origins, didn't he? But we get their fight when I say the first fight, I mean the first fight of the movie. So yeah, it's the first Wolverine and Deadpool fight where he's sitting there stabbing the shit out of him, like he's shooting him, like Wolverine is just chopping. It's the coolest thing to watch, like them actually like just duke it out in the Void around this whole like Mad Max world. And
I just assumed, like in my brain, I'm like, this is just a quick idea, a quick vision of Battle World. I'm going to call it. We've got phases coming up, so I'm going to call it. I think we're going to see a Battle World. I think that's what's eventually going to happen in the Void, and I think we were getting a quick view of it. And I went, "Holy shit!" Like, okay, I'll let you go. I'll let you continue with the plot review. Because you can't stop there. Like as soon as they get to the Void, and then we stop. No, you got to carry on because that was where my mind started going.
So I get it. Kind of is a Battle World, isn't it? Because it's just like it's a pieced together world of just like various different.
The beginning of it. I think it's the beginning of it. Like what we saw was before it actually gets there. Before more timelines start getting pruned and cut.
And to be fair, like they did announce a Secret Wars movie coming up, so it's the Void could very well play a big role in that.
Yep. I'm telling you, man, I think it's all gonna come together. But either way, they finally get Battle World, their first fight.
Yeah, so they're killing each other, and while they do that, then suddenly a very familiar voice, which made me perk up almost immediately, fucking screams like, "Hey, we shouldn't be fighting each other. That's what they want us to do." And you're just like, "Wait a minute, could it be?" Like he jumps down, does this whole like superhero landing, and we also get a Mad Max group of like characters. So we get Pyro, we get Sabretooth, we get Ray Park, fucking Toad. We get all kinds of different, a few characters I didn't recognize, but yeah, we just get a random assortment of like Mad Maxy characters. Yeah, and they all show up, and at that point, that's where we get the reveal that it is Chris Evans who's there. And I love this fucking bait and switch. We're like, oh fuck, it's Captain America! Holy fuck, he's back! And they really tried to set you up with that. Like he had like red and white wraps around his hands.
Did you notice they were red and white, but he also looked like Strange? He looked like he was dressed like Strange at first. They were throwing you all over the place. Like, okay, wait a minute. As soon as you get a view of him, he's wearing a cloak. He's got arm wraps like the Wizard.
Like kind of like hunching, kind of hunching over, trying to like
talking like Captain America. What is happening?
Yeah, and then but I noticed that like everyone was called. There was a dude next to me who's like, "Oh fuck, it's Captain America!" Like, and me and this dude were like rando. We're both looking confused as fuck when he's just like, "Oh yeah, dick for brains." It's like, wait, what? It's like language. And yeah, then so when he's like, "Oh God, he's gonna say it. He's gonna Avenger Flame on," and he actually screams "Flame on" instead. I was so fucking happy. I was
I was too, and I hated those movies.
well. I mean, I was a kid when it came out. I was in like 5th grade when that movie came out, so I
Okay,
was
I'll give you
all.
that.
So yeah, like
I'll give you
that was one of my like formative like I want to be that guy. And yeah, no, growing up is realizing that you do not want to be like the Chris Evans Johnny Storm.
No, you'll end up with chlamydia, and it won't burn off. No, I hated those films, but I'm not gonna talk shit. I giggled and laughed and was like, "Fuck yes," because they got me. I just didn't see it coming, and I was happy
And that
to
was
see his
Fox,
character.
and that was yeah, and that was
I was
20th
happy
Century
to see it.
Fox, man. Like that was them being. I love how that whole like that entire part in the void is kind of just Fox being like, yeah, guy, or that was Marvel being like, yeah, we know what we purchased, we know what we acquired, and we're gonna give you, we're gonna be like, we see you nerds.
Yeah,
Like
we know what we got. We're not gonna abuse it. Well, here you go. We
yeah,
respect where it's coming from. I love that it was basically Fox saying bye. You
yeah,
get what I mean?
and
To certain characters, like goodbye, and then
and Disney
Marvel and
being
Disney
like,
welcoming them in.
yeah, exactly. Marvel welcoming him in and being like, we understand where this came from and what's going on with it, and we want you to know we see it, like we see you, like that. At least that's how I took it, because then yeah, like we get Johnny Storm. Like after that, we ended up like when they end up going to to Cassandra Nova's compound, we end up getting Juggernaut. There's Lady Deathstrike out there. There's the Russian, fucking let
Holy
me
shit!
see.
You're
Yeah,
right.
the guy in the red and white striped shirt. That was the Russian.
We get Azazel.
Azazel. We got we got the X-Men 3 Juggernaut. We got Psylocke. Like,
Oh yeah, that's who that was. I thought that's who that was, but I wasn't sure. I thought that's what they were going for, so it wasn't the same actress. But yeah, okay. I thought that's who that was.
Oh, okay. John Bubba wants to. Yeah, the Sabretooth fight. That's true.
Yeah, we did
all right.
skip. We skipped.
Behold, the head of your queen, Furiosa. I love that. I love that. But yeah, no, they were teasing you to be like, oh, Sabretooth and Wolverine. And it's like, no, he just chops his head off and it's ultra fucking blue balls.
And in that lore where they were coming from, if you decapitate either one of them two, they're dead. If you can cut Wolverine's head off, he dies because he's not like Deadpool. He can't grow a new body, or I guess his body doesn't grow a new head.
Yeah, like he's not capable. His regeneration is not able to grow back any limbs. Like if they lose something, it's gone.
I guess so. Newer lore, they changed that up a little bit, but yeah, they aren't like Deadpool. Deadpool can pick his severed arm up and put it back on, or regrow a new one if it's gone. You can cut his head off, and he grows a new body, that sort of thing. Wolverine, Sabretooth, that particular lore, you cut their heads off, they are dead. Period. You sever the brain from the body. Now, I've had people argue about that. Like, how do you do that with Wolverine with an adamantium skeleton? And I was like, you can get between bone and cut somebody's head off.
Adamantium sword. I'm like,
you get you get adamantium hot enough, it'll melt. Like, you couldn't send him to the sun. He's gonna burn up. I don't care what anybody says, it'll still burn up. So yeah, there's ways of killing him. He's not invincible. He's not immortal. It's just
I'm like, and then more than that, like literally in that same thing, in the same movie, we see like the Omega, Omega mutant, like when he's that variant of Wolverine, he's missing a hand. So I'm like, clearly it's possible to sever shit from Wolverine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just harder with him for the adamantium skeleton. Like, it's just most people are going to hit bone, because you're not going to stand there and let somebody cut your head off. So they're going to hit bone. But if he was unconscious, you could take his head off, like done.
Yeah. And Sabretooth's healing factor is just slightly weaker than
also true.
Yeah,
also true.
There's a level of how much you're able to heal, and it's like Sabretooth is probably the lowest.
Yeah, so a decapitation in Sabretooth, he's done. I loved how he didn't know at first either, because you saw his beard fill up with the blood, and his body started to turn and his head fell. I was like, that is so anime. That was so fucking cool. Like, it just didn't topple off. It was just like, oh, let's do it anime style. Yeah,
that was great. Starvation can kill them. They can't heal if they don't have the fuel to use the heal. That's true. Also, apparently, like if they just get old enough, like because Logan died, his healing factor ran out.
It slowed down when he got old. Actually, John Bubba, in the series I'm covering right now, the Deadpool Wolverine World War III, they attacked that very, very weakness. They touched on that just then. Starvation can kill Deadpool too. So that came up, and if you guys ever want to check that out, it's actually pretty interesting how they deal with that. But that'll be out next week. We don't need to go there, but I got lucky with finding that comic timing, right? But it's cool you brought that up because what's up?
Here's a crazy idea. If Deadpool cuts his own arm off, and then will it grow back? Can he eat that arm and then just be like grow it back?
I'm not gonna say anything. I mean, theoretically, yes.
I'm just saying. If I'm Deadpool, I'm like, oh, I need to eat, and start eating my own arm, and then
cannibalism is when you eat your own species. What is it called when you eat yourself? There's got to be a word for auto cannibalism.
Yeah, auto cannibalism. I think that's exactly what it's probably. Like
we had that discussion before. That was a new question for me. Like,
Mr. Hey, Mr. Action. Oh, you jumped in at the very wrong time for that one.
Whoops.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and get further in. Like when they get to Cassandra's base, we have a bunch of different cameos. We have a million different characters, and also just the character of Cassandra Nova. That was kind of a cool fucking like villain to add in there. Like,
not to mention where she comes out of. Like that's a big one.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man's like body is like, oh well, Paula Rudd finally aged. Autoerotic cannibalism.
In Deadpool's case, absolutely.
Unfortunately, eating yourself won't work because your own body is too low on the required nutrients to sustain you. Too bad.
Worth a shot. How would
Mr. Action didn't
know
watch
that?
Yeah, that's a good question, John.
Meat's still made out of protein, man.
How do you know that eating yourself won't make you? Nah, I didn't watch the film yet. Well, Mr. Action, you're gonna have a bad day. Wow. Yeah, but so what did you think about the character of Cassandra Nova? Like, how did you like her as a villain, or also just as an added in character? Because that for a lot of people, you may not know about Charles's twin sister. Because I sure as hell didn't. I had to Google that when I first found out. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Wasn't that House of X stuff?
I'm not mistaken.
So. I'm not very familiar with that. I only read House of M. So, and I didn't finish it. It was weird. It got weird. So yeah, I wasn't familiar. So for me, she was a totally new character I hadn't heard of. I agree though. They did nerf her. It just, I wasn't crazy about her, but it wasn't a film killer either. You get what I mean? Like, I don't think she was the real villain. If you really want to ask me, I think Paradox and the TVA were the real villain in this particular case. I think she was just something they ran into before they could move forward with the plot. You talk story-wise, you know what I mean? An antagonist, but not the main. I don't know. What did you think about her?
I thought she was like, it was interesting because it's like like they just wanted to add in like a crazy person, like none of this nonsense of like, oh well, I'm Thanos, I actually care about the universe, or like Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger, where it's like, yo, yeah, he actually kind of has a point about the shit he said. Like they didn't make any of that shit. It's just she's crazy, she's a psychopath, just someone you don't have to. Yeah, someone you do not have to be on the side of. You can just be like, wow, this chick just needs to die. Bald chicks are hot.
I do not disagree. I don't disagree.
Whatever. I got nothing against bald women. And I wonder who is the actress, Cassandra Nova actress, Emma Corrin.
I'm not familiar with her. I don't think, at least bald. I haven't done an IMDb on anything yet, but that's how new it is for me.
Yeah, no, apparently she's been in a number of movies, none that I've ever seen. I'm going to be 100%.
She's mainly an English actor. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of like. I guess one of the things that Americans might know is she was in The Crown. That was a Netflix series about the British royals. If you ever watched that crap. She's also in Pennyworth, the show about Alfred.
Look, I haven't watched that yet either. I heard that was really good. I haven't watched that. Oh, well.
Do we need a show on Alfred? What's up?
Do we really need a show about Alfred, though? I mean,
probably not. It was like, but what about him in the Secret Service or World War II or whatever the fuck war he fought in?
Who cares? I'm just saying.
Let's make fucking Alfred cool for a minute. See, that's what my lawyer told me to say, and I trust my lawyer from a law firm of Dewey, Chatham, and Howe. Yeah, it's because apparently, how John knows about cannibalism is years of working around and in the medical field.
Okay.
Yeah. Liar.
I'll accept that.
It's like, don't lie, you're an eater. I know it. No, but
As he's eating himself right now.
No, but so that was cool. I was like, maybe we'll see some more stuff like that later as we start getting more X-Men stuff. Maybe we'll see another Cassandra Nova variant somewhere down the line. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool to maybe explore a little bit about that and like the relationship with her and Charles. Other than that, like hey, what's up? We got Bianca in here. How's it going?
Hey, B.
And eating yourself to keep yourself alive would violate the first law of thermodynamics. I'll take your word on that. I don't even fuck with that. I don't fuck with science. I'm like most Americans these days. I don't fuck with science.
I like science.
Yeah, no. I don't fuck with thermodynamics. Oh man. Anyway, so so let's let me see. We have a little bit of like her fucking around with Deadpool's mind and Wolverine's mind a little bit. Then we have Elias show up. And so another thing, if you didn't watch Loki season 1. If you didn't watch Loki season 1, or I guess Loki season 2 technically, but if you just didn't watch Loki, you're going to be lost as shit about who the hell that is and what the Void is. So I feel kind of bad for people about that.
And not everybody watches everything. Like some people are Deadpool fans, went to see the movie and have no idea about some of the stuff that's happening.
Yeah, no, if you didn't, again, a show and a movie. My brother and me were talking about this earlier. That a show and a movie, in the grand scheme of things of Marvel, like if you missed one show and one movie, which is very possible, like you're completely lost on this show because you don't know who the fuck the TVA is, what the Void is, what Eliath is. All the variants are just like, wait, why is this guy here? I thought he was in a different unit. I thought that was a different movie. Like,
and then
why is Johnny Storm here? Yeah. Logan, same thing. Yeah, if you didn't watch Logan, same thing. It's like, wait, when did
you
Wolverine
lost Logan?
die?
You've missed the entire point, to be honest with you. Like from the beginning of the film, you were just like, what? But I guess
John says he was lost on the shadowy creature. Yeah, so John was lost because he didn't watch Loki. So I'm like, you had some homework you needed to do if this wanted to make sense to you. Like,
I do recommend Loki both seasons. Like, wow, like I'm gonna tell you that was probably some of the best Marvel content I had seen. Like end of sentence. So I do advise if you guys haven't seen it, do watch it even after the fact. Like even if you've seen Deadpool 3, you're not going to lose anything. It's not going to spoil anything for you. Definitely check it out. It's worth a watch.
You need to have seen all of Marvel. I don't know about that. You don't necessarily need to have seen all of Marvel, but it helps to have a little bit of that backstory because then otherwise that, like I said, this stuff is lost on you. But so they fly away from her. Like they have like a short thing of like her being the big baddie, and then they get on like a sentinel leg and fly away.
Yeah, sentinel leg. It took me a minute to figure that one out. I wasn't crazy about that, but I also thought completely comic book. So, some of the weird stuff that happens, remember this is a comic book film, so can't look at it too hard. So I was just like, okay, cool. That'll work.
What did you think of what came? So after that, we got just before we'll get into the second fight that took place in the van, but then we got fucking Deadpool. We got the Deadpool variant, Nice Pool, and Mary Poppins, who was Dog Pool. What did you think? I can already see on your face. What did you enjoy the shit out of that? Like that was great.
Yeah, felt like we had Ryan Reynolds from those Mint Mobile commercials for a minute. It was good.
Oh. Yeah, Nice Pool show. It's like, where's your mask? Come on, guys. It's like, look at me. Yeah, like, and fucking. Oh, you should wait till you see Lady Pool. She's gorgeous. Just had a baby, and she's like, can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. It's okay. I identify as a feminist. Like, dude, that guy is. It's too cute. No, it's not. Dogpool is the ugliest dog on the planet.
She likes ugly dogs, though.
Them gold-plated 50s were beautiful. Agreed. 50 caliber gold-plated pistoleras.
I do like how immediately after he met him, he's just already plotting how he's gonna kill him and get away with it.
Yeah, no, when he tells him like if anything ever happens to you, I would be glad to be her new papa. It's like, what would happen to me? Lots of things.
Lots of
and like his face goes from like a smile to like a terrified look, and it's like, oh my god, dude, it's great. Like I love that. It's so good. The dog was ugly, but doggone it, so cute as well. No, like,
See,
and Ryan Reynolds sitting there like
thing.
Ryan Reynolds like licking the dog's face was like, what the fuck? Like he was flat out making out with the dog, man.
Mouth open and everything. Oh,
steals his dog and his technically doesn't steal them. He pilfers them. Like he takes them off of his corpse.
Pilfers. He technically loots his corpse.
Yeah, he doesn't so much steal them as he does just loot a corpse. But we're getting ahead of ourselves there. But at any rate, like they have this whole thing about how they have to go find the resistance to fight, to be able to help them fight Cassandra and get out of the void. So they take the dude's Honda Odyssey, which I think we kind of skipped over that Deadpool, after being rejected by the Avengers, he goes and starts becoming a used car salesman with Peter. And there's a whole thing about him hating the Honda Odyssey, which I think is great. So yeah, that was perfect.
His face under that mask, man. As soon as he's like, Honda Odyssey, it's great gas mileage.
Oh my god. Yeah, so yeah, they drive the Honda Odyssey out of there. I think it's at that point is when Deadpool reveals that he does not have any idea if the TVA can help Wolverine or not, or if like they can fix his world, and which is the whole reason that Wolverine is with him to begin with. Like, and so yeah, Wolverine gets angry, and they start having one of the most epic fights in a fucking minivan. To Greece of all things, they have you're the one that I want. Fucking.
Educated wish. That's what it was.
He didn't lie. He made an educated wish. Oh my god, dude!
I made an educated wish. Okay.
So again, I think this kind of adds to the whole thing of it being like overwhelming, because that was like, it was the second. It was like we got the first fight, we got this fight, we got like the fight at the end. There were so many freaking the fight in the van. Like we got so many just different.
I feel like it was kind of a callback to the first Deadpool movie, because if you think about it, he jumps into an SUV and kicks the living shit out of like 5 dudes in an SUV. Well, then you cut to Deadpool 3 and he couldn't even handle Wolverine in a minivan. One dude, he couldn't handle him. Like the second he leg kicked him through the fucking roof of the van, I was like, this ain't the same Logan y'all used to dealing with. Like he's got the super strength here. You know what I mean? Like he's kicking you and throwing you through walls. Like it's probably time you stop fucking with him.
Ooh, so I love how someone brought it up. So we got Wolverine / Deadpool up verbally and physically. So we're gonna do this. One of my favorite parts of the movie. I was able to get this, so we're just gonna. I hope we don't get copyrighted for it. But
I mean, you are a ridiculous, immature, half-wit moron. I have never met a sadder, more attention-starved, jabbering little prick in my entire life, and that says a lot.
Yeah, and it's like, because I've been alive for 200 fucking years. Like, and him going into the whole thing about being like, it's one of, or was it that fucking, it's like one of God's best jokes that you can't, like, we all wish that you would die, but it's one of God's best jokes that you can't die, except it's on all of us. So it's like, damn,
it's on all of us. Like,
it sounds like you are muted. Maybe that's me.
Am I back?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm guys, can you, if maybe it's just me, can you hear Dead Guy?
How about now?
Yeah, no, I'm not. That's oh, we can hear, so maybe it's just me then. Hang on. So maybe I'm gonna turn off my headphones for a second and let's see. So for a minute, Dead Guy, you stall.
Oh, I thought you meant like me actually stall. I was just going,
there we go. Never mind. It was my headphones. My bad. My headphones turned off on me. But there we go. So it's on Gil's side. So yeah, so my bad. Erase that. Click, deleted.
Later.
We'll edit it out in post. It's cool. Okay, so but after that fight, so one of the greatest lines that was in that fight is that, I take it back, the Honda Odyssey fucks hard, but you don't, needle dick. Like, That was one of the best lines ever. And the fact that it goes into them like fighting for a whole like day afterward, and then like pans onto the coexist sticker. I'm like, good shit. Good shit. I'm like,
they were killing each other for a solid day and a half. Like,
how much time did they waste just fucking like offing each other? Oh, good shit. I love it. And then yeah, like they wake up, Deadpool's all fucking tied up in the fucking seat belts and shit, and Wolverine's all passed out. And obviously, so then we get an unknown character who reveals to be X-23, which I thought that was the best way to go about that. Yeah, they get Laura. She shows up and takes them all to their like secret base for the Resistance. And we get to see not just X-23, we also see Blade, we see Elektra, and for some reason we see a Channing Tatum fucking
Gambit.
I was not crazy about the Channing Tatum.
I wasn't crazy about it, but I will say I didn't expect it. Never once would I have predicted that. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it. I'll just say that. But at least I will say, and the good thing is at least they trolled the character. They didn't take it too fucking seriously. They kind of made him a dipshit. Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't do it seriously, and I think that was the goal. Like let's just, I mean, look at the outfit. You really want that kind of Gambit in a movie? You really don't.
I mean, I thought that the comic accurate Gambit was cool. I just thought that him being like, oh, they call me the Gambit. He's like, I charge up the playing card, make them go boom. I'm like, that was weird. Like, who's your voice coach? The same thing that he asked is like, who is your dialect coach?
So they were trolling the character. So I did appreciate the cameo, like, and everybody been talking about. That's why Cavill was in it. Everybody's been preaching for 2 years now. Cavill Wolverine, and everybody's been going, oh, Channing Tatum, Gambit. And I'm like, neither one of those would really work, honestly. So they threw him in the movie because it was a throwaway. You know what I mean? Like, we might see him again, but throwaway,
Gambit looks like his face is being squeezed.
It did. It looked like it was like...
Yeah, it was uncomfortable to be in that costume. Like, it was cool to see like the actual 90s like common accurate Gambit, but that looks uncomfortable as fuck for him to be in.
Yeah, it looked cosplay as hell, to be honest.
Exactly. It looked like it was a cosplay, but versus Blade and Elektra, who looked like they were actually supposed to be there. I loved that. I was sitting there being like, oh shit, are they gonna bring out Daredevil? Is fucking Wolverine, like, is Magneto gonna be in here? Is there gonna be like, who else are we getting? And yeah, no, like. I thought that they handled it all really well. Fucking Ryan Reynolds talking to Blade, being like, I thought you were retarded. And then I think they did make a slight reference to Blade Trinity when he said, I don't like you. You never did. And it's
they did. I caught that and was like, holy fucking shit. I never liked you.
You never did.
You're right. I caught that. So that was probably an actor between actor reference joke thrown in there, which is breaking, I would say, the fifth wall, if that's even fucking possible.
It got meta as shit to the point where they're like, oh yeah, we lost. The Punisher went up against Cassandra and died. The Daredevil, it's like, oh, Daredevil, I'm so sorry. And the lecture's just like, it's fine. It's like, because they had an ugly divorce. Fucking yeah, no, that was great. How they're just like, there was a number of like really meta jokes in there that I'm just like, I get it. Tatum looks too thick. I look at Gambit with more of a sleek body and face. Kinda, yeah. He looks a little too like Magic Mike in there.
I mean, the only reason they did that was because so many fans had been screaming about it for so long. They're like, let's give it to him for a second. Because what this was is let's give it to him. That's if you're gonna have a call or a logo or a slogan for a film, it'd be like Deadpool 3. Let's just give it to him. That's how I'd put it. Let's just let them have it. This is what they want. This is what they've been talking about. Throw it at them.
Exactly. It was kind of a love letter to some of the fans because, like you said, the Wolverine, people have been talking about that for years. Like, apparently, I googled this after the fact because I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
Apparently, Channing Tatum. Yeah, apparently Channing Tatum was in talks to become Gambit in a future X-Men movie with Fox, but then obviously the Fox merger happened and that fell through. So yeah, Yeah, thank God. Yeah, no, the less X-Men movies that get made by Fox, like I liked we talked about it before the stream started. I liked the X-Men's 1, 2, and 3 had some cool stuff, but like, it just on the whole, it's not great. And they didn't know how to mix that with First Class and Days of Future Past, and there was a lot of continuity errors. Just I think the less that we do with Fox now, like I think Marvel is a good step in the right direction, especially with how much X-Men stuff they've been doing. So yeah, I think X-Men fans are going to
talk
eat
about
soon.
Deadpool 3 now. It's like you can't talk about Deadpool 3 without somehow talking about X-Men. They did that on purpose. It's like you start talking about it, it's like, well, now they're bleeding into what happened in previous X-Men stuff. It's like it's connected to the damn film now. They so smart, so fucking smart the way they wrote some of this stuff out. Like, oh shit, where were we? Oh, we were at where they met the variants that got pruned.
Yeah. Like we get like, it's again kind of a paper thin story about like, well, how did you guys get here? TVA came knocking, and it just like I have a strange feeling that Blade would not know who the TVA, if they just came up and just like pruned him, he wouldn't know who they are. He just like some randos in these suits, like, but they all seem to know who the TVA is, what the Void is. Like everybody just kind of knows about this world, and it's all just
maybe they know from possibly talking to other survivors. That could be it too. Maybe they saw it happen, and somebody was like, "I just got pruned" or whatever. Like, it could be.
And Johnny mentions how like, oh, Reed thought that this world was a so it's like I'm sure other smart people got pruned and were like, oh, hey, check it out. Look where we are. Like, so, I'm sure, yeah, they probably did that, but it's like they don't really explain how they all just know this information.
Do you think that the entire Fantastic Four from that franchise got bamfed there and the rest of them are dead? Reed and
I mean, you saw
I didn't think about that till just now.
Yeah, I mean, one of the Mad Max dudes was driving a Fantastic Four like speeder.
Oh shit, I noticed that. Yeah, you're right. And it was the one from the film that they made.
It very well could be
like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire team, if Jessica Alba was out there somewhere and got like off by Cassandra or got off by somebody, got eaten by Alioth. So it's like, and like, so yeah, that's my thing. Is it
okay?
So if I'm curious now, since we're talking about the cameos, which one would you prefer? Like, if you had a choice, like if you knew that they were going to put cameos in this movie, who would you have chosen to put in here? Because personally, I would have put Thomas Jane.
I'd have put one of the Parkers that wasn't Holland. I'd have had to. Like, I'd have paid Sony for whatever I needed to get one of the Peters in there. Like, it'd just have to be. And I wouldn't care which. It'd make more sense for Garfield because I don't think we're getting any more Garfield movies. So put him in there. Yeah. I would imagine that the Fan-Four-tastic would be there too.
Fan-Four-stick.
You got me thinking now. Honestly, I never really went too far into it. I would have done at least a Henry Radcliffe Wolverine. I would have thrown it in there because he's a second biggest fan favorite that they're wanting.
Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter.
I would have thrown him in there just for fun. Milquetoast. See, I can't think of any, honestly. Like, the movie's still so fresh, and I was happy with everything they kind of did with it. Possibly Affleck Daredevil would have been funny.
But I think we could have all had a good laugh at Affleck Daredevil.
They had Juggernaut. Everybody I'm thinking of, man, I'm just kind of like, damn. It was a different actor, I think, but
I think it would have been cool if they just like, so they've never been in a Dead or in a X-Men movie before, at least I don't think. But I would have think it would be cool if they had like Omega Red or something like get some obscure X-Men or some ones that we haven't seen in live action before.
Yeah, that would have been cool. You're right. Pick some obscure X-Men that you could have said they were in the Fox universe, like they were just there. Other than that, I'm still kind of sensory overloaded. Like, I'm on my second watch and I paused it, a little bit before we were doing the stream. So I'll, take more in. But the way I see it is they covered just about every movie. At least pick one. They found somebody to put in there from everything they've ever done, other than Spider-Man. Maybe, okay, you know what? Yeah. I've decided I would have put Eddie Brock Venom in it from Spider-Man 3. Eddie Brock Venom, and I would have gave him another
Ooh.
shot to be cool.
Topher Grace. Oh shit, that would have been a crazy one. Fucking
That's what I'd have done.
Expecto
my claws, Bob. Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
That would have been cool. It's a capybara or an actual Build-A-Bear. Oh shit!
An actual, a Build-A-Bear rocket. See, I've been waiting for an Omega Red since first saw Colossus on screen. Straight up,
we're gonna see him in a film. I think we're gonna see him in a film because he's a good one.
Good one. And the Colossus they have in the Deadpool movies is actually like really, really cool. Like that's one of the best versions of Colossus they've ever had.
The best version of Colossus in a film. Period. I loved it. I was like, they finally nailed his character instead of getting the guy that made his muscles strands look like they were metal. You know what I'm talking about? Instead of having the crisscross lines, it made it all of his muscle. And I was like, I'm not digging the design, man, at all. Where's this Russian accent? I can help them. Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
So you've been watching anything cool lately? Great British Bake Off. It was like that was a funny reference in there.
Oh, John Bubba's speaking to my heart. X Factor,
X-Men from the show X Factor or Mutant X, maybe even the Immortals. Ooh.
See, I'm glad you asked that question because I just got stumped. You put me on the spot and I couldn't fucking think of anybody. All the people in the chat have had excellent ideas for cameos. That
Nightcrawler, dude. Give me a version of Nightcrawler again.
Like Fox Nightcrawler would have worked.
Straight the hell up.
There's 2 Fox Nightcrawlers, aren't there?
Yeah.
Oh, like, there's 2 of all of them. Except Wolverine. There's 2 Storms. There's 2. I never thought.
Dude. There's like 2 of every single one except for Logan because he's the only one who like Hugh Jackman is the only one that society will allow to be fucking Wolverine.
Not only that, it's Days of Future Past fixed that. If you really go back and think about it, he is the only Wolverine in that timeline at that point. And that because he replaced himself, and it was Days of Futures Past Wolverine after what was his name, Stryker. After Stryker found him, he brought him to that facility and then started experimenting on him. Then you get Apocalypse, where Jean Grey sets him out. That's been like 10 years. He's been. It was kind of cool connection. I'm not sure not a lot of people caught that, but yeah, there's only one Wolverine in that timeline, but there's 2 of everybody else, and so you'd have to pick one, I guess. So if you'd want one of the X-Men from the Fox, you'd have to say which Wolverine or which Nightcrawler or which Cyclops should be in there, which one should be pruned.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Not all of them.
Yeah, and then that's a whole other thing is that like trying to figure out which universe is which and which multiverse thing is this part of in the timeline. It's just like, dude, you're gonna drive yourself fucking crazy. I did that my first watch. I'm sitting there trying to be like, okay, so I'm halfway through the fucking movie and like, all right, so if Deadpool's over here and if Logan was there and like all right, so Dark Phoenix is this one. I'm like, you're just gonna drive yourself fucking insane. Just don't do it. Like trying to make sense of this timeline is like of just the X-Men timeline in general is a losing battle.
Well, especially Fox, and then you start mixing in the mutants that they were allowed to use and Marvel's universe. It gets all over the shows. It starts spreading all over the fucking place. Like,
so
don't think about it too much.
Yeah. So we're getting pretty close to the end. Like we get like they all like decide to team up, you know, the variants, all the different like cameos and Deadpool and Wolverine. They all decide to team up and be like, all right, let's go get Cassandra. Let's go over and raid her base. And they all just kind of agreed like to go on this suicide mission. They're just like, oh, all right, fuck it. Why not? We don't care about your world. We don't care about the world. We just care about getting our ending. And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about like, again, it's kind of like a meta commentary on them getting like a badass like send off, because their franchise is all ended and they didn't get it like an actual thing. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And I mean, the fight was nice. At least the fight with them like all showing up badass like the lineup of Blade, Elektra, Wolverine, Deadpool, like all of that together. That was pretty cool. Like it was
Civil War as fuck, except you're getting like a dark side of it. You know what I mean? Not that Civil War wasn't dark, but you're getting like a complete other different side to the Civil War clash. And I was just like, oh shit, this is fucking cool. I never thought I'd think it was cool, but I thought it was fucking cool.
How'd you feel? So I'm curious, as someone who did watch Logan, who did like, I think you did watch Loki, I believe, but as someone who did watch these things, how did you feel about like the bringing the X20, having X23 trying to like, so you remind me of him. Like, you're just like him. He did that. He showed up when he mattered and shit. Like, like having the little like campfire shit around where he reveals that he was part of the X-Men team, but then he went off and got drunk one night and they just decided to kill all the X-Men. And like, how did you feel about that scene?
That's where I start. That's where I feel like it started. Sorry, I'm smoking my tobacco pipe, guys. It's where I felt like it started getting at you. Like they were starting to be like, this isn't all fun and jokes. There's some stuff going on here, because you got to think about the trauma that X-23 went through. I mean, she found out this guy was her dad. She hunted him down. They both murdered so many fucking people together. And then he dies saving her.
Yeah, like in her arms. She
then calls her his dad, basically lets her know that he loves her and that, this is what it feels like to love somebody and to have somebody to care about other than yourself. It was pretty touching. And I think when she saw him, either way, there was a connection, whether she wanted there to be or not. He looks like him. He sounds like he is him. He's just from a different universe. And
yeah,
I felt like it got to him. I do. I liked the scene. I felt like it was important to show that no matter what, there's still a fucking man in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, as much as he's been drinking and as much as he gave up and as much as he wants to die, there's still a man in there that doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, he still needs something.
It really spoke to me, like when he says, like, Scott used to beg me to wear this suit, and so did was it Storm and Beast and all of them. Like, and I told them it all looked fucking ridiculous. I couldn't have him thinking I wanted to be there. I'm like, oh man,
that's Wolverine as fuck. That's the true Wolverine.
He acts like he doesn't care and he doesn't want to be with them, but he's like, he wants to be with them the most, because it's like he feels like welcome there. He feels like a family. And I'm like, dude, that's so fucking sad, man.
Yep. And now I wear this suit to honor them.
Yeah.
That's all I got fucking left. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Like, yeah, like him saying that about how, like, oh, well, I went off, got drunk, and then the humans decided to kill the mutants. And she says, like, I can guess what happened next. She's like, no, I have to say it. I'm like, oh, man. He's fucking dealing with some shit that he has been holding on to for a minute.
It took Laura. He didn't even know her.
Yeah, it took someone it took someone who like told him, was like, I look up to you. Like, you may not be that one, but I look up to Logan. And like the entire movie, people are telling him how Logan is a hero. And he's just like, well, not this Logan. Like, I think that was a big part of it too, is how everyone telling him that, like, oh, well, Wolverine's a hero. You're a hero in my world. You're a hero in that. Like, that kind of like inspired him to want to try to be that Logan.
I can still do this, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And he
like
absolutely sold it.
Yeah, at that point is where it turned. It was still funny, but it turned. That's where you're starting to be like, okay, there's people here. And I mean, we'll get to the Deadpool part later, but I mean, you start seeing it with him too. Like, even with the fight in the van, which is something I think we missed over, is what Logan said to him in that van actually hurt Deadpool. Like, the look on his face was just like he was broken. Like, oh my God. And
like, he was the only person who's ever been able to shut Deadpool up. Like,
and you felt bad over that Deadpool. Part. Like, oh, he hurt his feels, and he didn't think that was fucking possible with Deadpool, but he just hurt him. Like, everything he said to him, he's like, damn, he's right. He's fucking right. And I don't know, man. So I think at that point you start seeing there's people in there. These people still have feelings, even though they're murdering hundreds of people at a time.
Yeah, and but it's a good thing. They are still people under there. They still have emotions. They still have feelings. And Deadpool, also Wolverine, we did skip over that because I cut it short. But in that one thing where he's like talking shit to him, he's like, no wonder the X-Men didn't want, or no wonder the Avengers didn't want you, or the X-Men, and they'll take fucking anyone. I'm like, you couldn't save you can't save anyone. You couldn't save a relationship with a goddamn stripper. I'm like, damn. I'm like, when he called Vanessa into it, I'm like, oh no, you're fighting dirty, bro.
And it worked. It worked because at that point, Deadpool realized that he kind of has been a piece of shit a lot. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, he's like, okay, maybe I think they both found that's what I was getting at before. And I think we can say that now is the flip is you would think it was going to be Deadpool coming around and becoming this thing. And it ended up being Logan. You know what I mean? Like, it ends up being like, we're going to make this dude. I don't know how to explain it to you, because after that talk is when things started to change in the film. I felt the dynamic completely started changing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and that was great. And again, Laura talking to him and being like, him saying like, you got the wrong guy, and her walking away being, you were always the wrong guy. I'm like, that's kind of cool. I thought it was a little weird how later on they added in like you're always the wrong guy until you weren't, which I'm like, you could have just had her say that at the campfire. Like there was they also had it like when they're during the end he talks about like the first time in my life I'm proud to wear this suit, which I'm like, you never said that during any part during this movie. That's just they just kind of added that at the end for fun.
Yeah,
just to add a little bit of emotional like
Laura's tune when she said it though, I took it as how she meant it. Like when she walked away, like you were always the wrong guy. The way she said it and the way she delivered the line, it felt like until you weren't. You know what I mean? So to me, it was just like you were always the wrong guy, but obviously he wasn't. You get what I mean? Like he died saving a bunch of kids. You know what I mean? Which is something.
Like that's what
you get what I mean?
Does.
So I think she, with her tone, she was delivering it that way, and I think that's how he took it. Like you were always the wrong guy.
Yeah,
but you were still there. And, you know what I'm saying? Like you still did what you were supposed to do. So that.
So yeah, and then obviously he does. He takes that to heart, and instead of being in the car with them, he just pops out of the trunk because obviously he has to hide has to have that last minute fucking like showing up and being like, see, I'm a badass. But anyway, so yeah, they fight their way through. They get we already talked about this part. Oh yeah, thank you, Bianca. Thank you for being here. You have a good one. But yeah, so they fight their way through. They get to Cassandra, get Juggernaut's helmet on her, and after a fucking just butt puckering awesome fight, and so they get to the point where like Cassandra like they threaten to kill her, but in the last minute like Wolverine is like, no, you know what, your brother would not stand here and let me watch you die, and so he shows her compassion. And in that moment, she's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I am a bad guy, and lets them leave by using Doctor Strange's like sling ring, which cool little reference there. That she also Cassandra Nova stronger than Doctor Strange apparently.
Doctor Strange, and now I'm starting to wonder which Doctor Strange was it, because now that's tying that to Multiverse of Madness. Which was supposed to be a one shot, right? It's supposed to be a standalone one shot film.
No,
once he returns.
That's gonna be dude. If it turns out that was the sling ring from like Doctor Strange Prime from like the Sacred Time, oh, that's gonna be nuts. That's gonna be fucking nutty.
Even Doctor Strange zombie body. I'm just saying, there's so many options.
Doctor Strange Supreme from What If, like various Doctor Stranges, and that but no, you're right. It ties it to Multiverse of Madness.
It just connected everything to Multiverse of Madness, which they made it a point when they were talking about that film that was a one shot. Like, you don't have to tie this to anything. It's a one-shot film. Once everything wraps up at the end of the film, it doesn't have to be connected to anything. They did it anyway, which to me, that's like, oh shit. I caught the sling ring. Was like, I wonder who the fuck where they got that. I wonder who gave that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it may not even have been a Strange. It could have been.
Yeah. All she says is that it's an amateur magician, and so it could be Strange, but it's every sorcerer has a sling ring. So,
amateur magician. What if it's America?
Oh, it could be, America Chavez. That's true, because she was learning how to become a fucking. I mean, for all we know, it could be Ned, because he was showing that he had skill in No Way Home.
Don't be Ned, but it could be.
Yeah,
it could be. Either way, that's. Oh, what did you say?
Yeah, he says it could be. Yeah, it took it as you were the wrong guy until you weren't. So she was, she was trying to get him to think like that. But. Anyway, so yeah, they get back to Earth. So this leads us to fight number 4 of the show. That like they get back to Deadpool's universe, and then they have the insane fight with the 100 Deadpools. We get Lady Pool, we get Head Pool, we get Kid Pool, Wrexham Deadpool. Which I noticed that right away that there was the Wrexham MC or FC fucking football club dude. We got Cowboy Deadpool, we got Samurai Deadpool, Baby Pool. I'm pretty sure there was Moon Knight Pool. I think that was what the white one was.
Okay, I couldn't figure that one out. I thought it was the throwback to Deadpool 2 when he was covered with ash. But now you mentioned that.
But they did have a black Deadpool. They had a black suited Deadpool, so I think that was another. Yeah, that was a reference to that one, to Deadpool 2. But they had all kinds of the Deadpool core, and so. Fun fact about that: did you know that the floating head was Nathan Fillion? Like that was his voice.
It really?
Apparently, the Lady Pool was Blake Lively. Like, yeah, they said that Kid Pool was Ryan Reynolds' daughter. And that was like actually the voice. Like, if I want your opinion, I'll pull Wolverine's dick out of your mouth. Like that was his fucking actual daughter. And apparently, I guess the baby pool was like the recording of his newborn son.
Oh, cool. I know in Deadpool 2 he was Juggernaut. Like they blew his face up underneath that mask and he voiced him. I know he's all about that, and I think it's odd he brought his family into it, but that's still kind of cool. I didn't know that, so you're throwing all kinds of.
Yeah, no, there was and also just for another fun fact that Cowboy Pool was Matthew McConaughey.
What? So just people coming in, just dropping in cameos uncredited, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I think they might be credited. I'm pretty sure Blake Lively was credited, but yeah, but they're just randos. Just like they just drop in there, and I'm sure these are all just like Ryan Reynolds' friends that he just asked to, hey man, you want to have a voice line?
I mean, like, did you watch the interview with Snipes?
I did not.
There's a quick short interview with Snipes where he was talking about how it happened and how he got into the film, and Ryan literally just called him. And was like, you interested? Like he was hands-on with just about every cameo. He physically spoke to these people, would call them on their fucking cell phones and talk to them. And I'm like, damn, dude. So it is a lot of people he's friends with and people that are just close with them that just dropped in.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, do you want to be in this movie? Like, I'm a producer on it. I have a fucking say. Do you want to be in this movie? And they're just like, fuck yeah.
The question is, was Vanisher there the whole time?
Was Brad Pitt. That's something we didn't actually mention. In the opening scene, when during his birthday party, we have Buck, we have Dopinder. There's the dude who spits acid.
Zeitgeist, Shatterstar.
And then we got Colossus. Yukio. Yeah, Colossus, Yukio, and the Negasonic chick. And then, but we didn't have TJ. Yeah, we didn't have TJ Miller, and we didn't have what's his name, the Domino or Cable.
I don't think we're gonna see TJ Miller ever again in films.
Yeah, probably
he screwed up pretty bad. And then they're not friends anymore either. So there's that.
Well, I mean, I figured that was something to do with it, but I'm just like, I noticed that right away. I'm like, oh.
I was shocked there was no Terry Crews.
Yeah, that's true.
I looked for him specifically, and then my brain thought, well, Vanisher, we could all just say Vanisher was there. Nobody will know the fucking difference.
Yeah, but there was no.
But I think Terry Crews might be in a little bit of some media hot water lately too, so maybe it wasn't somebody they wanted to reach out to right now. I don't know.
I wonder, if Zazie Beetz was busy or just didn't want to, because that's the chick who played fucking Domino, and she wasn't there either.
You're right. Shit, you're right. I don't know why I missed that.
TJ Miller gets to Yogi Bear.
I think his career might be done for.
I forget exactly what he did, but yeah, no, you're right. I think there was something about that he just got canceled for some stupid.
Oh, he got really drunk and called in a bomb threat on a New York subway because some chick was pissing him off. He was hitting on a chick, she wasn't having it. He got mad, caused a ruckus, and then called in a bomb threat. That'll pretty much do it.
Okay, so yeah, let's not have TJ Miller in our movie anymore. Yeah. Okay, then. At any rate, so yeah, let's see. So I just wanted to mention that I'm like, they didn't have a few of the different X-Force characters that weren't there, but they did have Peter, which, but they did, So Milquetoast says that Peter Ex Machina, that was a great part. Like after the Deadpool fight, which the whole Deadpool fight was an epic thing. Like then Wolverine putting his fucking cowl on, great fucking part of the movie.
I don't know how we missed that part. That I giggled like a 10-year-old schoolgirl as soon as this case opened and I saw the mask and then he started putting it on. I just went, oh my God. Like it finally.
Yeah, no, like I was sitting there thinking they weren't going to do it. And then as they're walking out slow motion, you see his hand start going back. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh God, he's doing it. And the whited out
great. Eyes, the CGI facial expressions. I was so goddamn happy. I was so happy. Like,
let that be a lesson to DC. Let this. I giggled too. Yeah, no, he was all excited. Let it be a lesson to DC that, God damn it, give us the Batman with the white eyes and just make the fucking eyebrows and the mask like change expression.
Right? Like,
they did it with Wolverine and with Deadpool, and they actively made it look like good. It worked well. Like the CGI was not janky. It didn't look like it was like goofy or anything. It looked good, and I'm like, come on, guys, you can do it.
Little touches. You're just adjusting eyebrows and eye squints and things like that. They mean Civil War showed me that. As soon as Spidey did the floop and took the shield and was waving at everybody, and the eyes were doing, I went, fuck me. They nailed it. So why in the fuck can't anybody else do that?
Yeah, no, why can't DC just figure it out and be like, we don't want the eye holes, we want the fucking, like, we want the whites. We want the whites of the eyes. But yeah, so John Bubba says that battle in the bus and all the Deadpools getting pushed back by Logan and Deadpool was great. Like, I love that whole shot from like how it's just like panning from one side to the next. Like you get
Windows
to see
breaking, coming at you, like blood splattering on the winds, dude. It was.
You have to pay attention, kind of like to be able to like, especially to, like, you have to watch it multiple times in order to see like what all is going on in the background, like how they're doing it. Because there's a lot just like happening in that one scene alone. Also, they killed Nice Pool, which I thought was funny. Fucking
Human Shield. You're gonna
also,
live.
Also, funniest part of the movie, in my opinion, is when he talks about how like he says like, you know what, I want, or he talks about Mary Poppins again, and he says like, or who's it gonna be, Mary Poppins, me or Van Milder here? And he's like, oh, that's very funny. You know, I can casually prod the fourth wall too. And he looks at the camera, the proposal. And just it's like, is that what you think I do?
The proposal.
And he's just like, the fuck was that? Is that what you think I do? Fuck stick. I'm like, I love that so much. How just offended he gets.
He trolls himself.
Yeah,
with arrogance.
It's Ryan Reynolds trolling himself. Oh man, it's so good. I loved it so much. And then yeah, like the whole fight. Also, fun fact: did you know that when they are on the bus, like they jump onto the bus, and start killing all the Deadpools in there? That's where the Stan Lee cameo is. Is like on the bus. There's a little advertisement on the side, like, you know, if you like, are you hurt? Call what? It's like one of those little like side of the, and it has Stan Lee's face going. Like, I had to. That was my third watch. I had to watch. I had to notice that. Yeah, I noticed that on my third watch movie. Yeah, so it's right there, like right before they jump out of the bus, you can see it on the side of it. And it's like I noticed that. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
That's fucking cool. That is therefore verifying this is Marvel Universe. That's verifying it, and to me, that's just amazing.
Yeah, see, like John Bubba says, like when one of the Deadpools runs out of ammo and looks at his guns all terrified, like there's a lot of little details like that. Like there's a part where the Prime Deadpool runs out of the bullets of the gold pistoleros and like flips them out. He just goes woo and flips them out of the air, or like into the air, and starts like, and he grabs like another guy's gun and starts killing him. It's fun. It's just a load of fun.
It's some like dumb John Wick Deadpool fun is what it is. You're getting like John Wick style action with Deadpool humor mixed all throughout it, and you got Jackman just cutting limbs off. Just
yeah,
dude,
enjoying the shit out of it. Fun fact: you can't see Kidpool get killed though. Like I obvious reasons. I know. I'm just saying though. You see Kidpool at the very open, like front of the group, running at them, and then when in the next shot disappears. Also, fun fact: lined up. Oh God, why couldn't God make me deaf? Yeah, that was funny too. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, that was a good one. I think that we kind of got like it did drag a little long because at the end of that one, they didn't know where to go with that, so they just had Peter show up and be like, "Oh well, we all love Peter," and that's just kind of the end of that fight.
Peter's alpha pool.
Yeah, and then we get to the final part where it's like they have to, through the power of friendship, they end up destroying the machine.
Dude, that was so cheeseball factory. That's what I was hoping we'd get to that point. That was it though. Like that was the turning point. That's where Logan, the worst Wolverine, became the best Wolverine. Yeah. I kind of enjoyed it. It was cheeseball.
It was cheesy, but I would say it had purpose. Some. Yeah, like that was the point. It had some heart. I would say in that, like, you know, we see Deadpool. He's like sacrificing himself. He's like, I have to be the one to die here. Like he's like he learns the lesson that he gets at the beginning of like how the Avengers don't do this because they need to do it. They do it because the world needs them. And so he's like, that's exactly what he's like. I'm not doing it because I need to do it. I'm doing it because they need it. So
it was his Avengers moment.
It was exactly.
His moment.
And in that moment, like he's sitting there trying to get, which I think I'm sitting there watching him like get over, he can't reach. I'm like, dude, pull your sword out. Literally just like you could do that easily. But that was why they did it. So Wolverine could like grab his hand, and then they both, like the two of them together, team up. And so that way neither of them has to die. It's a fun little like thing. And then again, we kind of get like a semi-emotional thing of him being like, the music building and him seeing Vanessa in his final moments. And then same thing with Wolverine being like seeing Laura and thinking about X-23. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. I kind of saw what they were, I think it fell a little flat, but I see what they were going for.
I would have went with a different song. And I think that might have actually helped. You know what I mean? Like it helped boost the scene a little more into a cheese factory. If you'd have went with a love song, it would probably been really good. I think it'd have been hilarious, to be honest with you.
Fucking Whitney Houston.
They both went into it thinking they were both going to die. They both went in there thinking, no matter how this turns out, you're not going to die alone. Because Wolverine, Logan tried to take it from him. Logan's like, no, you got people that care about you. I don't fucking have anything left. So I'm going to do it. And I like how they were just swapping those two turns. They both wanted to save somebody else, which means they both made that sacrifice that Logan did in the long run. You get what I mean? So they both
in their final moments, they became heroes, and neither of them had to die.
And because they used each other and they could regenerate, they're the fastest regenerators out of anybody. They were able to fight against, I guess, I don't know what that we would call that, the time energy stuff. I don't know, but
matter, antimatter. I don't know if that's how science works, but they talked about how like, well, yeah, if your body mixes both matter and antimatter, you'll be obliterated. So I guess the argument there was that one of them had the matter and the other one had the antimatter, and that was like what each thing ran through each of them, so they didn't have to worry about it. It kind of like,
it would have caused an explosion. It would have destroyed half the planet. But let's be real, it wasn't a science movie. It wasn't Star Trek. Although he did make the Khan reference when he's like,
"I'm Marvel Jesus," or Spock. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. And he just like does. I love how he comes back. He's doing all the fucking like. Starts doing the. Thing. Like he's just fucking with him at that point. Matter, antimatter, Star Trek techno babble, pretty much. Yeah, that's all that. The quantum carburetor.
Does it really matter?
Yeah. So does it really matter? Nice.
I'm sorry.
Just like, am I gonna marvel at how cinematic it is? Yeah, nah, but. So basically, yeah, like we get that, and and I love how their final music choice was fucking again, and I'll give up forever. Them fucking walking out, Wolverine all fucking all absed up. I'm like, that was gratuitous. I think,
when
like, I get it.
Huge exploded, and you could see him just standing there all sweaty, and then they cut the Deadpool, and he's just looking at him like, ooh.
Yeah, he looks at the abs, looks at the camera. I was like, I get that like Hugh Jackman put in a lot of work for those abs and that shit. I'm like, but dude, come on, that's gratuitous at this point. Do we really have to have him shirtless in every goddamn movie?
That was for the fucking ladies, man. It was for the ladies, and I appreciated it because, man, he's an old guy. And that dude put himself through some work to look that fucking good. I can appreciate that. It could have been CGI.
Fair enough.
It could have
been fair enough that he put the effort in and he put the time in, and it was for all the girlfriends that got dragged to the fucking movie. But god damn it, man. Can we have one X-Men movie that doesn't have Wolverine showing his chest? Like, because all the Wolverine or all the X-Men movies that involve him, at one point his shirt gets ripped off. And it's like, I think that's unnecessary.
Yes, it does. It'll be worse if we get Wolverine, because that dude really likes taking his shirt off. And
dude's gonna be a fucking
I don't mind.
It's gonna be a wild reminder of my own inadequacies.
Exactly.
I love how Deadpool called that out. All right, put away your greased up tits, you preening slut. Good shit.
Put away your greased up tits, you preening slut. Oh, that's really funny.
So that's pretty much the end of that. Like we get, Wolverine becomes the new anchor being. Like the TVA arrests Paradox, and Deadpool's universe gets regenerated. And so, which either means we're gonna get more Deadpool movies, or they're gonna be like I think that's where we're going with that. Is that means that we're getting more X-Men and more Deadpool stuff later on down the line. Like I think that's what that whole like the
I
universe
think we're going to
regenerating
get
means.
some X Factor, if I had to call it. I think they're going to go with X Factor and possibly X Force. And I mean, shit, Poole still has X Force. To be honest with you, he's still got them. Even though there wasn't any of the X Force from the comics. You get what I mean? Technically, Wolverine was an X Force when it first started, but X Force, meaning they were a more forceful, battle ready type regime of X-Men versus X Factor, which was more strategic and smart, handling small problems. You get what I mean? Like there was a reason they were called those things. And now that we got the Spider crossovers, I'm gonna call it. I think we're gonna get an X-Force with a Spider-Man crossover. I bet you it's gonna happen. And I mean, shit, they fought Juggernaut in the 90s. They fought Juggernaut, and they needed Spidey to do it.
If we get a Deadpool and Spider-Man team up,
helmet on. Huh?
If we get a Spider-Man and Deadpool team up, I'm gonna be so happy.
Spider-Pool?
Hopefully they do Forge, Justice, and X-Force.
Ooh. Yeah, see?
Forge. Oh man. Yeah,
but see,
so
okay,
many
we pretty
good
much covered the plot. And what I'd like to do is ask you, overall, how did you feel about the film, and where would you rate it at?
Overall, I think it was fun. It was like if you're a hardcore like nerd like Marvel dweeb like me, then you got a bunch of the references. You got all like the cameo, like all the cameos were like, dude, I know that person, I know that. So it felt like it was a movie that was absolutely made for me, and that's why I loved that's what I've loved about Marvel movies for a long time. Is that it feels like they're appealing to the child in me, being like, here, dude, look at all this cool stuff from when you were a kid. We remember it too. Fucking let's go. And yeah, and that's why I think that's one reason why this movie has been so successful is because it captures that feeling again, and of like what old superhero. Because not to talk shit about Marvel now, but a lot of people have been losing faith in Marvel with the last few years just because of the different tones, the different feelings of the movies. So like this one kind of going back to it's like, yeah, we know we're a comic movie. We're gonna be goofy. We're gonna be fucking like, we're not gonna worry too hard about the plot, and we're just gonna enjoy what we're doing and fuck around. Like I think that they did well, and so I'm gonna give this like a 9 out of 10. Like if the only thing I would think would have made it better is if we could have either like the cameo. I'm gonna say I agree with some people who say it was a little overwhelming and like a lot, like it was an overload. So if we could find a way to like maybe bring that down a little bit, like maybe like I don't know, maybe not rapid fire at you with all the cameos and the fights and the battles and the reference, like find a way to do that, then it would be perfect. But it's like, but yeah, it's damn near.
Oh, let's see. John Bubba put it 8 out of 10, which that's a good rating. Bottom line,
stupid fun. Turn your brain off and embrace the ADHD.
Guild, I can't top that. That was a really good description. Like you kind of nailed exactly what I was going to say, to be honest with you. It was after Predator versus Wolverine, my 10 to 13-year-old boy's fantasy come true on camera. Like I was just like, oh my Lord God. A lot of the old Marvel stuff, some of the cameos that were in there, I wasn't a fan of the old films. And somehow I find myself loving the goddamn fact they showed up in this fucking movie. Like Blade, I loved when I went back and did a rewatch a couple years ago, I was like, oh, these movies don't age well. They just don't, right? Like it just doesn't have the right kind of feel. It's an action film. To see him pop in there, it still gave me warm, fuzzy feelings. Whether I'm a huge fan of the Fantastic Fours, it was fucking cool to see Johnny Blaze, man. It was just, I give it an 8.5, just for the sheer fact, and it loses a point for some janky CGI. That's the only reason, and I don't take that away from the story. I just take that away from Disney not giving them enough money. And I pay a little too much attention to that stupid stuff. Nothing's ever going to be a 10 from me. So an 8.5, they are literally a 0.5 away from a perfect film, and as far as I'm concerned. And it was a mess. You watched it 3 times and you're still saying it was a lot, right? Like,
yeah,
a lot.
Like even like so much so that yeah, I had to watch it 3 times in order to catch every single reference that there was, or every single possible thing that you could find. It's like there's just so much packed in there.
8.5, and I recommend anybody who's watching who hasn't seen it yet, take the time to avoid social media. Don't pay attention to too many spoilers. We haven't ruined anything because experiencing it is just far cry different than what we're talking about. I promise. It's watch Loki, watch Logan if you haven't, because this movie's gonna feel a lot more for you if you watch that.
Honestly, just watch Logan anyway. If you want to feel, just watch Logan. Like that's a great watch this too, but yeah, we'll watch Logan because it's just a good movie and it needs to be
the first 5 minutes of the fucking film. You watch him just destroy like 8 cholos trying to steal his fucking car, and it's like that. At that I was sold. I went, oh, we finally got a Wolverine film. We finally got a real Wolverine film.
Yeah.
Like
hard R. He's probably gonna be chopping dudes to pieces. It's like good stuff.
The only thing that stood out was the error with not counting the other Blade version. Oh,
yeah, because he says, so there was one part where he says, "There's only one Blade, only ever gonna be one Blade," and I took that as, I didn't take that as like a Wesley Snipes being like, "I'm the only Blade." I took that as they don't like, that is Marvel poking fun at the fact that they don't know what the fuck they're doing with the Blade movie.
Like, yeah, that was it.
Between all the rewrites, between the actors, like the directors, like swapping out and being like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure they've gone through like 3 directors who have been like, yeah, I can't do anything with this. So
in that interview with Wesley Snipes, he mentions that, by the way. He said that he was kind of confused why Ryan reached out to him because he had the other guy that's already played Blade. He's like, there was already that other guy. So, of course I wanted to do it. He's like, I thought about it. Of course I wanted to do it. But he's like, I was just kind of confused when he reached out to me because I thought they'd go for the other guy. I was like, but Snipes, if you're going to ask anybody, you are the one Blade. And that's probably why they gave you that line. Like, there's only one Blade. Wesley Snipes doesn't feel that way. You know what I mean? Marvel's sort of just like,
if they bring back Wesley Snipes for Blade, I will be so happy. I will cry. I will die a happy man if they bring back Wesley Snipes for a MCU Blade.
Yeah, and I mean, they could play with the rules. He's a done peel. He's a half-breed, meaning he could age and live like a normal human being. So they could make it to where he's just older Blade.
Although even with the little lightness, motherfucker looks great for being like, I think he's like in his 60s at this point. Let me see.
I think you're right, and I wouldn't get into it with him.
Dude, 62 years old, still looks fucking great.
Fucking great. So, and I would take it.
The amount of clips on social media ruin parts of it. Yeah, no, if Googling it, going on YouTube, going on Twitter, Instagram, any of that. Yeah, people have been split. Yeah, but no, they've been spoiling the crap out of that movie. So if you haven't watched it yet, I apologize because it's spoiled the shit. Like a lot of the stuff has been spoiled now. Let's see.
Before we got to it.
Yeah. Real quick before we go, I did want to, we pretty much reached the end of this, but I did want to ask, what did you think, since Mr. Action brought it up, what did you think about Dr. Doom being announced as Robert Downey Jr.?
Come on, man. Look, he had his run. Let him go. He's a great actor. I love him to death. Move on. There are so many other fucking people that would be good for Dr. Doom. And I even said, if you're going to recycle people, Michael Fassbender. Oh, for real? He'd be perfect. Cavill, fucking kind of perfect. There's so many people you could go with. Why recycle a character? But the more I thought about it, I think they might be going with Dr. Doom, Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where they're going. But you could still do that. I'll have to hear his what is it, Latvian? I'll have to hear his Latvian accent and see how well he's going to play the role.
Assuming they do make him Latvian, which
you can't. I'll be mad. And you let's talk about the Romani people who should be mad if you don't. It's like, you just took the word goddamn thing. Fuck, we only had Scarlet Witch and she screwed it up. Come on. I'm hoping they fix it. I'm hoping we'll see. It could be a joke. It could be with Marvel. They've been lying to people about the endings and stuff. They don't tell the actors. They don't really give them the full script anymore. So they could be just him a placeholder fucking with people. And then we, get the real.
Yeah, see, I don't know if that's the thing. I feel like this could be just them trolling us and being like, we got you. You actually thought we were going to do because what if we get to like the Doomsday thing and it shows like a variant, like it's Dr. Doom Iron Man, but then like he gets like wiped out almost immediately by the actual Dr. Doom, or some shit like
crushes
that.
the suit and then just electrifies him. Like, dude, that's a Doctor Doom thing. I love that character.
There is only one Doom. It's like some shit like
There's
that.
only one Doom. Dude, that would like, okay, the suit in the old Fantastic Fours, kind of cool. I'll give it that. The mask was cool. The actor was not very good.
Yeah.
The Fantastic, I liked how they portrayed the character's behavior, but the suit was
the
weird.
actor. Yeah, the suit was weird. And the actor himself, I was not crazy about.
But him blowing people up was kind of fucking cool. But that's not a power I'm assuming Dr. Doom really had. So they were playing with a lot of realities there. I'm not, if it is Downey Jr., I will make this official. I'm not happy with that. And I don't think that was a good idea by any means. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that Robert Downey Jr., it seems like a desperate move, like doing that with the Russo brothers and being like, all right, guys, we're bringing back your favorite directors and writers from these movies and the guy who basically made this shit for like a whole 10 years. So that's them being like, all right, we don't know what the fuck we can do. Like, yeah, like I think that if it's not serious, like if it is serious, it's a desperate move. However, I'm going to put faith in it and be like, this might be a Ben Kingsley kind of thing where it's like a massive fucking wool over your eyes kind of thing. Yeah. Because like that was something that we all expected. Like, oh shit, they're doing the Mandarin. And then in that movie, they're like, nope, we're not doing the Mandarin. We're fucking with you.
Yeah, I don't like Iron Man 3 for that very fucking reason. Because up until I found out he was an actor playing somebody that's supposed to be the Mandarin, the television broadcast, him in that outfit, the way Kingsley was selling that role, I was so fucking excited. Like, this is going to be a badass Mandarin. He was even wearing rings, which I thought they were going to do the 10 rings. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, they're going to do it. And then he ended up being an actor, and I almost turned the fucking movie off. I went, no, what? I now hate you. I hate you. Why did you do this? Like, you could have brought in Strange. You could have started so much so early. Because the Mandarin is a big Doctor Strange enemy. The 10 rings of power gave him magic powers and shit. Like, who else is going to fight him?
I mean, that was a huge thing for Iron Man. The idea of like magic versus science and shit. I'm like, come on, man, you could do that. And no, we're just gonna make him we're gonna make it a one-hit joke, and then bring him back later on in Shang-Chi and the 10 rings.
And now they're bracelets, and none of it made any sense. And I guess. Damn, everything's tying together. They are kind of doing it smart that way, I guess. Because everything's tying together now.
We'll have to see how it goes, because I'm excited for that they're finally bringing Fantastic Four stuff into it and like really making this like a thing. But it's like we'll have to see how it goes, because I'm really hoping that they're just fucking with us with the Robert Downey Jr. thing.
Do you have time to discuss what you think about the cast for Fantastic Four? Like a quick set?
We can do that.
What do you think?
Okay, so the guy who played Eddie Munson from Stranger Things, I think that's a good choice for Human Torch. I'm not as familiar with the chick who played who's playing Sue Storm. Let me see if I can find. She
was in the Mission Impossible movie that Cavill was in, and she was in another movie that I've seen. She's a good actress. She's a real
Vanessa
good
Kirby.
Actress.
Yeah, Vanessa Kirby. So I'm not as familiar with her, so I'm interested to see. She's got the look of Sue Storm, so I'm like, I'm down with that. The guy Ebon Moss Backrack. He was in Andor. So I'm familiar with his acting. So he's like,
he's all right. I just watched that like 3 days ago. I went through it again. He was trying to get back into Star Wars.
He was one of the freedom fighters who was chilling out with the guy who was writing the guy who he wasn't the dude who was writing the manifesto, but he was one of the other guys in that crew.
The tall, skinny guy?
Mm-hmm.
The one with the brother, I guess the one that turned on him or whatever. Spoilers, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. At least I know who they are now. The big one, Pedro. What do you think? I'm not crazy about it personally.
I think Pedro Pascal needs to take a fucking break. Like,
really? I love him.
I like him as the the Mandalorian voice acting, great. Joel in Last of Us, awesome role. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with his acting style or with him in general. I just like, dude, I see you in fucking everything now. You're in Gladiator 2. You're in fucking he was in Game of Thrones. He was in Mandalorian, Last of Us.
The serpent, wasn't he? Holy shit.
Yeah,
you're right.
He's in fucking. He was in Wonder Woman. He's in fucking the Kingsman movie. I'm like, no, we don't talk about that. But still, the point is, motherfucker is in everything, and I'm like, bro, just take a break for a minute, man. Like, and also
It's better than
I just
Jason
don't think
Momoa.
fair, and I just don't think he necessarily looks like Reed Richards.
No, I mean, I think we'll see. Like, it's growing on me the more I check it out. I didn't know that was the guy from Andor because I didn't recognize him. I just caught on that it was Eddie from, because I just watched Quiet Place 1, so I went back and IMDb'd it and saw that he was in Fantastic Four. So I made that connection. I just know that was the other guy. I guess I can get used to it, but I was all like, why not John Cena, Ben Grimm, for the love of God? You barely have to put a suit on him. Like
John Cena. Maybe.
Come on, it'd work. It really worked. The more I thought about it, I was like, he'd actually be kind of perfect for Ben Grimm, the Thing. Like,
yeah, kind of. I
it's
don't know. I didn't think about that, but yeah. I guess I could kind of see that. Yeah, like John Cena, because you need like like a scrawny little nerd and a big old fucking dude who's like his bodyguard for Ben Grimm.
Yeah, that's how I've seen it. And Pedro, let's be honest, he's not a skinny nerd, but it would the size difference between them would make it more proportionate. You get what I mean? But we got what we got.
Pedro's definitely got the old guy like thing. Like he'll definitely have like the white, like the white like sideburns thing that Reed Richards got going on, and that's believable. But I don't know. I just I don't necessarily think that Pedro Pascal is my Reed Richards. But that's why they're saying this is like this is like a multiverse fucking. This is like, it's not the 616 universe. It's its own.
Oh,
which is why we also have which is also why we have Lady Silver Surfer.
Okay, and that's going to be a sight to behold, my friends.
Yeah, and so that's another thing I also wanted to ask. How do you feel about that, about female Silver Surfer?
I'm okay with it. It's in the comics, so they're not pulling out of random shit, or they're not like woke switching anything like people would complain about. It's in the comics, so I'm okay with it. And the cast is growing on me. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what, I can see this. We've had failures so far, really, to be honest with you. At least the Fan-Four-tastic was just bad casting all around. Like,
yeah,
no, he's not. He's not. This is acting. He's a good actor, and I think he could pull that character off really well too. Like a big guy should be Ben Grimm.
Like, yeah, I don't care about like the Fan-Four-stick. It wasn't. I don't think that the casting choices were necessarily bad. Like, what's his name? The guy from Whiplash being Reed Richards. I thought that was an interesting choice. The other ones, like, I don't want to sound racist, but it was an interesting choice to make Johnny Storm Michael B. Jordan. Interesting. Like, I don't know how I'm not sure. Like,
well, they fluked it. They made his dad the one that was running the whole facility, and that they adopted her. Yeah, and it was just a weird twist. You know what I mean? It was a weird twist that I didn't care. I love Michael B. Jordan ever since Chronicle. I thought he was a great fucking actor. Like, he sold me then. I was like, who is this kid? He's the best actor out of all these kids, man. Like, holy shit.
My thing is that it just didn't seem like he was my favorite
Johnny Storm, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying is I don't necessarily care that he's black. It's just I don't know if Michael B. Jordan was the best choice for that, because he seemed like too serious to be Johnny Storm.
Yeah, and he was. That movie was too serious across the board.
That's true.
Across the board, they took it way too seriously, tried to make it too realistic. They went, let's go Nolan-verse with the Fantastic Four. And I was like, you can't even do that. Like, you can't do that. It's so unrealistic and over the fucking top. This is 1950s comics we're talking about. It's ridiculous. So go with ridiculous. Go with it. Like, we'll see. I just wanted to throw that out there because I figured we had talked about the Downey with Doom. You can't talk about Doom without talking about Fantastic Four, for the love of God. It is his origin story, too. So unless we're not getting an origin story and we're getting an established Fantastic Four.
Oh God.
You get what I mean?
Do you think we're going to be getting an origin story for Dr. Doom in this Fantastic Four movie?
I don't know. They're being hush-hush about the Doom thing, so I don't know.
For very obvious reasons. Yeah, they don't want anyone to know about what they're going to watch. It's going to be, they're going to completely subvert any expectations we have on this. They're going to Ryan Johnson. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, so I think that we're ready to wrap it up here. We have talked about so much Marvel. It's coming out our fucking ears. God damn.
We covered maybe 60% of the film. And I'm telling you guys in this chat, we covered maybe 60% of the film.
Yeah, there was a lot that we kind of glossed over a little bit of it. We like it may be a spoiler review, but there's a lot we just like didn't think to cover or just kind of missed it. So go watch the movie, go watch it twice, watch it 4 fucking times, because that's what I did. No, 3 times, but in all seriousness though, anyway, so I want to say thank you guys all for being here, to Hans, to Milquetoast, John Bubba, Mr. Action, Aaron Combs. We had this dude, Alec Densman, who I don't know what the hell that's. Did you fall asleep on your keyboard? But we also had Bianca and Tim in here. So yeah, thank you guys all just for being in the show and watching with us. And thank you, of course, to Dead Guy for being here at short notice. Like he kind of saved the episode today because otherwise we wouldn't have had one. So is there anything you want to talk about? Yeah, anything on your channel you want to talk about, or you want to?
Members only. Just any you guys are members. I just released the second issue for Deadpool, Wolverine, World War III. I'm having a blast voicing the hell out of that too. I was worried about voicing Deadpool, but believe it or not, I'm actually having a blast doing it. That's coming out Monday. There'll be a premiere for that. And anybody that's involved in the Discord, I am casting for a whole lot of Aliens comics. So just to throw that out there, we've got a bunch of Aliens comics coming out. I'm looking to fill every role I possibly can. I'm going full out this time. Production quality is going to skyrocket. I want everybody doing something. So anybody interested, hit me up. Let me know. Keep an eye on the channel. Other than that, I think the only thing I got coming out other than that is The Stand, which is a really small, tight following. So they'll care, but most other people don't really give a shit about that. And plus, I'm almost done. So why would you jump in now? Other than that, man, the channel's going great. Anybody out there, I appreciate follows. I appreciate the support that I've gotten. It's everything's going up and up.
Yeah, no, hell yeah, man. You're almost at 7,000 subscribers. So fuck yeah for that. And yeah, definitely go check out his Wolverine versus Predator audio comic. That is great. And then just the comic itself. Yeah, the audio comic is great. The comic itself is just fucking fantastic.
It's so well written, man. Like so well written. There's a couple things that I get in the comments with people about, they're like, oh, Predator wouldn't do this. And I was like, you're missing the fact it was young. It was eager. Could have been a rogue. We don't know. Rogues don't follow the same rules Predators do. We don't know. He doesn't know because he only remembers every battle as soon as it happens. It's a good fucking story. If you guys haven't read it, read it. It's so fucking good. Or watch my video.
Go do that. Go subscribe to Dead Guy Productions. It's the channel is right here. Go do that.
Thank you.
And then while you're at it, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below on this video. Check out our other podcast episodes and our audiobooks. We have all kinds from my buddy Harrison and one from me. We have an audio comic that I'm working on right now, the Last Ronin, which, if I do say so myself, it's a very nice comic.
You're doing such a phenomenal job on that edit. I had no idea that was you. And when I found out, man, I was so blown away. Like, oh, this guy knows. It's really good. It's really fucking good. So yeah,
I very much appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, guys, go check that out. And just be on the lookout for next week. We're going to be doing, I believe it'll just be a shoot the shit episode next week, unless something like major gets announced or like happens. But yeah, we're just going to be shooting the shit and chilling out. And Dead Guy, of course, as always, you're welcome to be on that one as well.
Okay.
And but yeah, guys, until next time, I have been Gilbert.
I'm a Dead Guy.
And this has been the Fulcrum Entertainment Podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, we are all Fulcrum. We will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.